Most people can't get their cooking show started because they overthink it. I talk to people all the time who've been planning their cooking show for years and years and haven't recorded a single episode. Well, a cooking show that exists only in your mind is not going to do anything for you or for anyone else. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to get your cooking show started in just 7 days so you can stop planning and start building a business that will allow you to create the kind of life you want for yourself. On day one, you want to choose the format of your cooking show. And by format, I mean, are you going to be on camera or off camera? It doesn't really matter. There's not a right answer. It's really about what kind of show you want to host and what do you feel more comfortable with. If your goal is to make the most money, then that's an on-camera show. That means you're going to be an on-camera personality, building a brand, and this is how you're going to be able to make the most money if that's your goal. But you can still make plenty of money with a cooking show where you do not appear on camera. Some people are just not comfortable being on camera, and that's fine. Others have a concern about their kitchen. A lot of people think their kitchen is not good enough. That's not really true, but that's what a lot of people think. So you can start a cooking show without ever actually showing your kitchen. I'll put an example on screen where you can see how you can position the camera so that you're just showcasing your hands preparing the food, and you can narrate this, whether you do a live narration or do a voiceover later. You can just record everything that you do and then do a voiceover later. Either way, both styles are successful on YouTube. So it's just a matter of you figuring out what kind of format do you want. You're going to be on camera or off, and are you going to do voiceovers, or are you going to do record the show as you're recording it, record the audio as you're recording it, and is that the kind of show you want? It's again, there's no right or wrong answer. Is what kind of show do you want to host? On day 2, you're going to plan your first 12 episodes. Why 12? Because we're going to publish 50 episodes a year of your cooking show. If you want to build this into a business, that means showing up every week. That means 50 episodes a year. And the simple way to get to 50 episodes a year is to break it down into chunks or into seasons, as I like to call it. And you can align those seasons with the seasons of the year so that you're preparing dishes using seasonal ingredients. So 4 seasons in a year, 4 seasons in your cooking show, 12 episodes per season. And this will help you with figuring out what your episodes are going to be. When you align what you're cooking with what's going to be in season, this is a way that makes it much more simple for you to figure out what are your recipes going to be so that you can plan these things in advance. And everything that all of the success that your cooking show is going to have is going to be based on planning, not waking up today and figuring out what you want to do, but treating this like a real business, because it is, and planning in advance. And that means figuring out your episodes 1 season at a time. Day 3 is when you're going to get your equipment together. And this is something that's a lot simpler and less expensive than most people think. A lot of folks think you need a fancy camera and a bunch of specialized equipment to host a cooking show, and that's just not true. I'll show you on screen what I use, but this is not what you use. This is not what you're going to need. So many folks think this is what they're going to need, and you just don't. I routinely record with my smartphone, and I will show you an example of that, where I'm recording this cooking show with my dedicated cameras, and I'm using my smartphone just to show you that you don't need to have anything other than a smartphone. You can record your cooking show with a smartphone. If your phone is 2020 or newer, it's more than enough to create an excellent video quality. So you don't need anything expensive in terms of getting your equipment together. You're going to start with the camera you're going to use is your smartphone. You're going to get a microphone that's an inexpensive wireless microphone. I'll put a link in the description box to the ones I recommend. And you're going to need a video light. Again, I'll put a link in the description box so that you can see the equipment that I recommend. But day 3 is getting your equipment together, and this does not have to be expensive. This is going to be, if you already have a decent smartphone, we're looking at less than $500, maybe less than $300 worth of equipment. And that's really all you need to get your cooking show started. Oh, and you may also need a stainless steel table. What you will see in everybody that I work with, what I recommend is getting a stainless steel table so that you can turn a kitchen, any kitchen, into a TV kitchen. And by that, I mean positioning your cooking surface so that you can face the camera. That means getting for many people, for many kitchens, that means getting a stainless steel table. and putting a portable stove on it so you can actually face the camera as you cook. Again, these are inexpensive items that you can get easily, and this is the kind of equipment that I recommend, not camera equipment and all this other stuff. Get the foundational basic equipment that you need to turn your kitchen into a TV kitchen. For most people, many people, that's going to mean a stainless steel table and a portable stove. You're going to get a wireless microphone and a proper video light, and you're going to use your smartphone as your camera. And this is the basic equipment that you need to start your cooking show. On day 4, you're going to record your pilot episode. What's the pilot episode? It's just practice, just an audition for yourself. Nobody's ever going to see this video. All you are trying to do with this video is make a video. Give yourself something to review so that you can identify things that you can improve, so you can go through the process and learn. I talk to so many people who have all these questions that they would not have if they would simply just put their phone on a tripod and try to make a video. You're not going to think or plan your way to a cooking show. You got to actually take some action. A cooking show means you standing in front of a camera and cooking. And for so many people, so many of the questions that you have would be answered. You would get the answers to these questions if you would simply try to make a video. Don't talk about it. Don't think about it. Go in your kitchen, put your camera up, set your camera up, hit record, and make something. Make a sandwich. Pretend to make a sandwich. It doesn't matter, because this is just a practice video that nobody's ever going to see. You're recording this video for yourself so you can just go through the motions and see what this takes, learn what you're going to learn from that first video, and then you make another practice video that's going to be better and easier to make than the first one because of what you learned. So day 4 is all about doing. Stop thinking about it and actually do it. Make a video that nobody has to see, so there's no good reason why you can't do that today, is there? On day 5, you're going to find your video editor, because you don't want to edit your own videos. This is a huge mistake that so many people make trying to learn how to edit video. It's just not a good idea. Video editing is a very technical skill, and it's a time-consuming task. Even once you get good at video editing, just by its very nature, the task takes a lot of time. This is not something that you should be doing. I don't encourage it. And this is why so many people struggle and fail who actually try to create a cooking show. A lot of folks get stuck on the video editing part, and the problem is you shouldn't be trying to edit your own videos. You want to outsource that. You may have friends or family, or a kid in your family or your network, a young person who can do video editing for you. You can pay them to do your video editing. Or if you don't have that, what I recommend is Upwork.com. You can go to Upwork and create an account and post a job that you post a job, and then video editors will apply for it. So you post a job about editing videos for a cooking channel, and then let people apply for it. And what I also recommend you do is go through YouTube and go find you two or three cooking channels that have an editing style that you like, and you use that to share it with the editor so that they see what kind of editing that you're looking for. And you've already recorded a practice video. Remember that. So you can use your practice video to share with them and see what if they can do the editing that you want. And this is how you can identify your video editor. And you can get folks at a great price, because Upwork is international. So you can get folks from around the world where the cost of living is very much less than what it is in the United States. So you can get video editing work done at prices way cheaper than what you find in the US. And this is the way you want to do this. You do not want to try to edit your own videos. The people who you see being successful on YouTube, those YouTube cooking channels that you're looking at going, man, I would love to have something like that. The person who you see on camera is not the person who's editing those videos. That's not how that works. They outsource that task to a video editor. So if you want to be like whoever it is you want to be like, that means you got to go find you a video editor. On day 6, you're going to learn how to create titles and thumbnails. This is critically important, because if nobody clicks on your video, then obviously they're not going to watch it. And the title and thumbnail work together to give people a reason to click on your video and watch it. And then you get all the benefits of having people watch your videos. But you got to get them to watch. And that starts with a title and a thumbnail. And the easiest way to learn that is with a tool I use called vidIQ. Go to vidIQ.com, create your account, and it's very inexpensive for what it does. And the tool and I think the titles might even be in the free part. I'm not even sure, but just go check it out. It makes it super easy to help you identify and create titles that are going to get people to click. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is to learn how to create proper titles and thumbnails. And vidIQ is the simplest, easiest way that I know to do that. On day 7, you're going to put your first recording date on the calendar. This first recording date is the day where you're going to make your first real videos. Maybe let's set out to do 2 or 3 on that day. And so you got to put that date on the calendar so that you can plan around it. What do you need to get in terms of ingredients? What other things do you need to assemble? You need to make sure that everybody's out the house on that particular day. Whatever it is you got to do, all of that starts with you putting that date on the calendar so that you can plan around it and make sure that nothing else takes over on that day. This is your cooking show. We're talking about this. If this is important to you, you have to assign time for it. You're not going to find time. There's never going to just be some free time for it. If you want this to happen, you have to block out time for it. And that starts with your first recording day, blocking out some time and giving yourself the accountability that comes with that. Because once you put that date on the calendar, now it's real. Now you have something that you're working towards. There's stuff that you have to do in order to be prepared for it. And so that you can show up and deliver what you're supposed to deliver on that day, which is whatever recipes you've planned out from your whatever season you're in, whatever season you're starting your cooking show. What are the recipes? What are the ingredients you're going to need? All of that, all of those things become real when you put a date on the calendar. So that's why on day 7, your task is to put down whatever date you want for your first official recording date. This is a simple 7-day plan to get your cooking show started. Here's how you know the difference between planning and procrastinating. Planning involves a calendar. You put dates on the calendar for when you're going to do specific tasks, and you stick to those dates the same way you stick to deadlines at your job. You don't just miss a deadline at work and be like, oh, well, because you take your job seriously and you know there are consequences for you not doing what you're supposed to do. Your cooking show is no different, except this is your life we're talking about, and nobody is going to force you to do what's necessary to create the life you want. If a cooking show is your dream, you have to take it seriously and put some dates on the calendar and stick to those deadlines. The consequences of you not doing so are not somebody yelling at you. The consequences are you end up getting old and life has passed you by without you doing a lot of the things that you wanted to do. If you don't believe me, go talk to some senior citizens about their regrets about things that they could have and should have done, and now it's too late. Life is short, man. You got a little bit of time to do what you want to do, and then your time on this earth is up. So keep that in mind. I just gave you a plan to start your cooking show in 7 days. How long is it going to take for you to implement a 7-day plan? If you want help, use the link in the description box. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.